6 countries, 2 oceans, 1 sea. Corals burst forth like flames in the heart of the tropical sea. Welcome to the Coral Triangle, where manta rays glide, their wings casting shade over vibrant coral clusters. Where white-tip reef sharks and black-tip reef sharks take turns patrolling the reef, and where orcas or humpback whales make their stop during each migration season. So who is the true ruler of these vast coral kingdoms? Tell us in the comments. And now, welcome to Coral Triangle, ocean's ruthless arena of survival. The Coral Triangle is a meeting place of oceans. It's where the Pacific Ocean blends into the Indian Ocean, a bridge between Southeast Asia and Oceania, and a connection point for 6 countries: Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, Papua New Guinea, Timor-Leste, and the Solomon Islands. Sudden shifts in the terrain reveal magnificent corridors of life. Chains of volcanic islands, seamounts, and deep trenches connect like veins nourishing a giant body. Ocean currents from the Western Pacific warm pool carry heat, oxygen, and the building blocks of life. And here, life has never stopped expanding. Tubbataha, a coral fortress in the open sea, located more than 150 kilometers southeast of the Philippine mainland. No land, no inhabitants. Only the North Atoll and South Atoll, surrounded by steep walls that plunge over 100 meters straight down. In Tubbataha, the white-tip reef shark dominates in numbers. Their density can reach up to 7 individuals per 10,000 square meters. Nowhere else on Earth hosts a higher concentration. The complex reef terrain poses no challenge for the white-tip reef shark. With a slender body measuring around 1.6 meters, it weaves effortlessly through deep crevices. Large, supple pectoral fins allow it to maneuver with ease in tight spaces. It searches for small fish, squid, and crustaceans hiding along the seafloor. The white-tip reef shark doesn't hunt with speed. In the stillness of the ocean night, it moves in silence, cornering prey against rock walls before striking. When sunlight touches the water, the hunt comes to an end. The sharks lie motionless beneath the coral's shade, resting among the sandy patches. The white-tip reef shark is the unthroned king of Tubbataha. It guards its kingdom by regulating populations of small fish, algae eaters, and coral grazers. Consistent predation pressure from the shark population keeps the entire ecosystem in motion. That constant movement helps prevent any single species from gaining too much dominance in this region. In contrast to the white-tip reef shark, the Giant Trevally is a high-speed predator of the mid-water zone. They gather along steep drop-offs and in areas with strong currents. No stalking, no silent approach. They actively surround schools of small fish, drive them against the reef wall, and then strike, each one darting like an arrow to snatch its prey. In Tubbataha, the Giant Trevally both challenges and cooperates with the white-tip shark. They compete for prey within the same water columns. Yet at times they come together to create a dynamic and powerful hunting spectacle. When night falls, the white-tip reef shark drives small fish out from rocky crevices. The giant trevally waits patiently just outside. It reacts instantly to the slightest movement. Any prey that escapes the shark is swiftly snatched by the trevally. In return, the hunting speed of the giant trevally compensates for the slower approach of the white-tip reef shark. As prey scatter in chaos from the trevally's charge, the sharks make their move. They seize the moment, snapping up small fish that stray into range. This form of commensalism doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, it boosts the hunting success of both predators. The white-tip reef shark patrols the coral reefs every day, but just after it glides past, part of the reef suddenly shifts color. The big blue octopus reveals itself. It has just successfully outsmarted the king of Tubbataha. The skin of this octopus is covered with millions of pigment cells called chromatophores. They expand and contract in response to signals from the nervous system, allowing the octopus to change color in an instant. Even the texture of its skin can shift, thanks to specialized muscle tissues called papillae. Sometimes smooth, sometimes wrinkled, occasionally rough and bumpy. Camouflage is a survival skill for the big blue octopus in Tubbataha. It seamlessly blends into coral branches, rocky crevices, or patches of algae. It can change its appearance thousands of times in just a few hours. Each transformation is a chance to slip away from sharks, moray eels, or seabirds. Are you more impressed by the camouflage skills of the big blue octopus or the tasseled wobbegong shark? Let us know in the comments. The white-tip reef shark hunts actively along the coral edges of Tubbataha. But when it ventures into the deeper waters near the drop-off, it must quickly shift to defense mode. This is the domain of the tiger shark, the second largest predatory shark after the great white. It can grow up to 5 meters long and weigh as much as 600 kilograms. Tiger sharks don't appear as frequently as white-tip reef sharks or giant trevallies. Only about 6 individuals have been recorded in Tubbataha since 2012. They are known as omnipredators, striking at anything that moves, from fish and turtles to seabirds and even floating whale carcasses. Each night, the tiger shark silently patrols the seafloor near the coral reefs. It picks up the faintest electromagnetic signals to locate its prey. A sudden close-in approach, followed by a bite with over 3,000 newtons of force. And just like that, the hunt is over. The tiger shark can target white-tip reef sharks and other smaller shark species. An injured individual, or one that strays into deeper waters, becomes ideal prey. The presence of the tiger shark is proof that Tubbataha's ecosystem is vast and rich enough to support even top-level predators. After the fierce hunt of the tiger shark, ocean currents carry us onward to Kimbe Bay, a small bay nestled on the northern coast of New Britain Island, Papua New Guinea. Surrounded by ancient volcanic landscapes, its seafloor is a mosaic of shallow shelves, submerged reefs, and steep drop-offs leading into the deep sea. The waters are clear, stable, and untouched by large river inflows. No reef fish grows larger than the giant grouper, the apex predator of Kimbe Bay's coral reefs. Adults can reach up to 2.7 meters in length, and weigh over 400 kilograms. The giant grouper takes full advantage of the reef's seafloor terrain to hunt. It lies motionless among rocky crevices, hidden in the shadows of the reef. When snappers, parrotfish, or juvenile sharks pass by, it unleashes a powerful suction from its massive jaws. In just a few thousandths of a second, the prey is pulled straight into its throat, where rows of backward-facing teeth and ridged jaws await. The giant grouper is the solitary king of Kimbe Bay. It does not hunt in groups. Each individual rules over its own territory, maintaining dominance for years. The layered reef system also reveals the unique reproductive behavior of the giant grouper. They are sequential hermaphrodites. Most individuals begin life as females and transition to males as they mature. This reproductive strategy helps maintain a balanced sex ratio within the population. Keeping clear of the giant grouper's ambush zones, the chevron barracuda hunts in the midwater layers of Kimbe Bay. It doesn't hunt alone. These predators move in schools of up to 200 individuals, forming swirling silver spirals in the open sea. According to Conservation International, Kimbe Bay is one of the rare places in the Coral Triangle where large barracuda schools are still present year-round. They often move in spiral formations. Each individual maintains precise spacing, tightening the formation to surround schools of small fish like fusiliers, anchovies, or juvenile snappers. One by one, the chevron barracuda break away from the spiral. They shoot toward their target like silver bullets. Their speed can reach up to 43 kilometers per hour. And with a single snap from razor-sharp teeth, the prey is sliced clean in an instant. When one prey is injured, the rest of the school surges forward. They don't let a single scrap go to waste. Chevron barracudas hunt in numbers, but never in chaos. They coordinate and maintain distance, keeping their spiral formation intact until the final moment of the hunt. A silent hunting system, fine-tuned over millions of years of evolution. A dark dorsal streak cuts across the surface of Kimbe Bay. The chevron barracuda are no longer safe to hunt. The orca has arrived, apex predator of the deep blue sea. They don't reside here year-round, but over 50% of recorded orca migrations through Papua New Guinea have been observed in Kimbe Bay. Small pods, usually between 3 to 8 individuals, they follow the migratory paths of tuna, manta rays, and even juvenile sharks. Orcas hunt in pods. They don't swarm in large numbers like chevron barracudas. Instead, they rely on finely tuned coordination between individuals, precise, seamless teamwork. The orca's hunt begins with locating prey through echolocation. They surround and herd schools of small fish into a tight bait ball, measuring about 2 to 7 meters in diameter. Then come the powerful tail slaps and bursts of chaotic bubbles. The stunned prey can only surrender to their fate. Each orca hunt can last anywhere from 10 minutes to 3 hours. This allows them to consume between 50 and 100 kilograms of fish per day. With each bite, the ocean's top predator can swallow up to 15 small fish at once. Orcas always hunt with strategy, and those strategies are passed down through generations. They live in matrilineal structures, where females serve as the central figures. They stay closely bonded, forming matrilines, pods, and, on a larger scale, clans and communities. Each matriline develops its own dialect, ranging from 7 to 17 distinct calls, to identify one another, maintain connection, and pass on culture. Beyond family ties, orcas also form friendships. Alliances develop among young males. These bonds enhance their hunting efficiency. Orcas don't appear often in Kimbe Bay, but each time they do, it's a sharp reminder. There are still intelligent, organized predators stalking the Amazon rainforest of the deep sea. Orcas have no natural enemies, but not every species bows to them. And the pilot whale is the one that dares to confront the ocean's top predator. Like orcas, pilot whales don't appear frequently in Kimbe Bay. This area has recorded 8 sightings of short-finned pilot whales along the bay's edges and drop-off zones. They travel in groups of 10 to 30 individuals. Pilot whales head straight for the deep waters to hunt. They dive to depths exceeding 800 meters, often for up to 15 minutes. Echolocation helps them pinpoint prey like squid or lanternfish in complete darkness. Pilot whales are known as the cheetahs of the ocean. They can burst forward at speeds up to 7 meters per second under high pressure at depths beyond 500 meters. This is extremely rare for large marine animals. These final second bursts during stalking help them catch prey easily, just like a cheetah's lightning-fast pounce. Speed and unity are how pilot whales stand up to orcas. There are no bites, no heavy clashes when the two species face off. Just long, intense chases filled with pressure. When they spot orcas, especially transient orcas, the entire pilot whale pod acts as one. They accelerate and drive their rivals out of the area. Their sprints can reach speeds up to 32 kilometers per hour. They use speed, calls, and numbers to confuse and wear down the orcas, forcing them to retreat. Kimbe Bay has yet to record any direct encounters between pilot whales and orcas. But in the waters of Iceland, Norway, and Gibraltar, pilot whales' mobbing behavior has forced orcas to give way. Many times, it's the orcas that retreat. Being stronger doesn't always mean being the last one standing in a battle of speed and endurance. At the far western tip of Papua Island lies a vast coral kingdom, the Raja Ampat archipelago, also known as the Four Kings, the crown jewel of the Bird's Head seascape. On the surface, more than 1,500 islands weave together in a dense network. Beneath the water, thick coral reefs stretch out like a pristine forest. Over 600 species of hard corals grow side by side. The highest coral diversity ever recorded anywhere on Earth. The lifeblood of Raja Ampat flows with the powerful currents from the Pacific Ocean. They swirl through rocky channels, cooling the waters, bringing oxygen and nourishment. The seafloor's varied terrain, shallow shelves woven with deep canyons, creates pockets of cooler water. These conditions help living coral cover exceed 60% in many areas. Within this vast forest, more than 1,700 species of reef fish swim through the waters. Among them, 100 species are found nowhere else. Some 700 species of mollusks also call this place home. Many large marine animals, from sharks and whales to giant manta rays, pause here on their journeys. Biodiversity in Raja Ampat reaches the very peak of the marine world. Beneath the crystal-clear waters of Raja Ampat, a massive shadow glides through shimmering beams of sunlight. The Reef Manta Ray, the king of the coral reefs of western Papua, and the graceful symbol of untouched oceans. With each movement, the Reef Manta Ray sweeps across a vast stretch of sea, its wingspan reaching up to 5 meters. The second largest ray species in the world quietly searches for plankton where ocean currents meet. They slowly open their mouths, drawing in 300 to 1,500 liters of water every minute. Their filter plate system instantly goes to work, capturing copepods and mysid shrimp. After feeding, the king of Raja Ampat returns to the cleaning stations. At rocky outcrops rising from the coral forest, cleaner wrasses and butterfly fish are already waiting. The Reef Manta Ray gently descends and hovers above the rocks. A graceful dance begins, with slow, elegant flips and turns. The small fish get to work immediately. They cling to the manta ray's body, picking off every parasite and flake of dead skin. Even the bacteria around its mouth and gills are carefully cleaned away. This process repeats several times each month. The Reef Manta Ray remembers the location of each rocky outcrop, each group of cleaner wrasses and butterfly fish. They return to the same cleaning station and place complete trust in the symbiotic community caring for their bodies. Cleaning stations cannot exist without coral reefs. Only healthy reefs can support the variety of small fish these stations rely on. Only living corals create the cool, steady, gentle currents that allow manta rays to hover with ease. When a coral reef dies, the cleaning station disappears, and the Reef Manta Ray no longer returns. The coral kingdom of the Reef Manta Ray needs protection, and the green sea turtle is its first line of defense. The world's second largest sea turtle comes to the seagrass beds near the coral reefs of Raja Ampat. They keep algae and seaweed from smothering the reef floor and draining oxygen from young corals. The green sea turtle undergoes a dramatic dietary shift. Their early life begins with jellyfish, small fish, and invertebrates. But as they mature, they feed almost exclusively on plants. The name green sea turtle comes from the green layer of fat beneath their hard shell, a result of this unique diet. An adult turtle, weighing around 400 kilograms, consumes between 1 and 2 kilograms of food each day. They are the diligent gardeners of Raja Ampat. Young seagrass is trimmed at the top, while the roots are left intact. This allows seagrass beds to keep growing without decaying, building up organic sediment or slowing down photosynthesis. Leaving the seagrass beds behind, the green sea turtle begins its work cleaning the coral reefs. They patiently graze on algae clinging to the reef, from red algae to filamentous green algae. These types of algae can harm corals if allowed to grow unchecked. Without the turtles, algae would overtake the surface, blocking corals from light and space. When the tide retreats from the rocky reefs of Raja Ampat, most creatures swim back to deeper waters. But the Raja Ampat epaulet shark is not one of them. It uses its pectoral and pelvic fins like 4 limbs to grip the rocky surface. With flexible joints, it crawls through shallow tide pools for distances up to 30 meters. The epaulet shark actively slows its heartbeat, redirecting blood flow to the brain. It can survive for 2 to 3 hours in low oxygen, high temperature environments. This shark moves across reef flats, probing crevices and slipping into shallow pools where few species can reach. It tracks the trails of small crabs, crustaceans, juvenile fish, and marine worms. The epaulet shark approaches its prey slowly. Its fins sweep across the reef floor, using electroreceptive organs to sense movement. Then it strikes in a sudden snap. Hard outer shells are crushed by flat teeth as its jaws close. barely reaching a meter in length, this hunter is a perfect example of adaptation within the complex coral reefs of Raja Ampat. In the coral depths of Raja Ampat, not every predator moves to hunt. No need to glide like the Reef Manta Ray or stay in motion like the epaulet shark. The tasseled wobbegong lies motionless on the reef floor. A master of camouflage in Raja Ampat, it uses the fleshy tassels around its mouth to lure prey in close. When a small fish, squid or crustacean swims too close, the tasseled wobbegong strikes in an instant. Its mouth opens wide, powered by strong jaws, swallowing the prey whole. It has even been known to capture brown-banded bamboo sharks, nearly 80% of its own size. In these moments, the tasseled wobbegong clamps down with its teeth, then feeds by tearing the prey into smaller pieces. Camouflage is also how the tasseled wobbegong avoids predators. After night hunts, it presses close to the seafloor to rest during the day. Its fringed skin and intricate patterns make it blend seamlessly into the coral reef of Raja Ampat, as if it were part of the reef itself. Do you know any animals with top-tier camouflage skills like the tasseled wobbegong? Drop us a comment and keep watching the video to find out more. The journey to explore the Coral Triangle continues southwest of Kimbe Bay. At the eastern edge of Indonesia, 4 islands rise amid the deep blue ocean. Wangi-Wangi, Kaladupa, Tomia, and Binongko. Together, they form the Wakatobi archipelago. Wakatobi lies right at the heart of the Coral Triangle. The land spans just under 500 square kilometers. But it's surrounded by more than 17,000 square kilometers of protected waters. Together, they make up one of the largest marine biodiversity hotspots on the planet. Beneath the crystal-clear waters, coral reefs stretch out like an endless underwater forest. At least 750 species of reef-building corals have been recorded in Wakatobi. That accounts for over 90% of all reef-building coral species worldwide. Among clusters of Acropora, Montipora, and Fungia, over 900 fish species reside. This place is home to 37% of all coral reef fish species, with an average density of about 52.5 species per 1,250 cubic meters. At the outer edge of Wakatobi, where the coral reef suddenly plunges into the deep Banda Sea, is a familiar gathering spot each year for yellowfin tuna, the speedsters of the sea. They flock to upwelling zones, where food chains explode with abundance. Yellowfin tuna hunt in schools. The smaller ones feed on zooplankton and small fish. Adults target cephalopods, crustaceans, squid, and larger fish. They break apart prey formations with speed. Short bursts can reach up to 75 kilometers per hour. Wakatobi serves as a refueling stop for the long migrations of yellowfin tuna. They move in rhythm with the entire West Pacific region, from the Philippines and Papua New Guinea across the Timor Sea and back again. Many individuals travel over 2,000 kilometers in just a few weeks. They follow temperature, salinity, and food availability. Speed is also linked to the reproductive ability of yellowfin tuna. Their breeding season lasts from September to May, with spawning occurring every 1.5 to over 3 days. A single female can release between 1 to 4 million eggs per spawn. Survival rates are below 0.1%, yet still enough to populate oceans worldwide. As yellowfin tuna move, silky sharks spring into action. These sharks stick close to the tuna schools like shadows. They herd the prey into massive bait balls. Then individual sharks charge in with mouths wide open. The name silky shark comes from their silky smooth skin. They've evolved to optimize movement and keep pace with fast swimmers like yellowfin tuna. Their skin is covered with tiny dermal denticles that reduce friction while swimming. Measuring up to 2.5 meters long and weighing over 300 kilograms, they can reach top speeds of 60 kilometers per hour. The dorsal fin is set further back to optimize stability in the current. Speed makes the silky shark extremely agile. They can undertake long seasonal migrations. Wakatobi is just one stop on their extensive journey across the West Pacific Ocean. Many individuals have traveled over 3,000 kilometers, following tuna schools through Indonesia all the way to the Indian Ocean. In these rich feeding grounds, silky sharks are not alone. In the mid-water zone, oceanic white-tip sharks also appear, stronger and bolder. They dominate with deep diving abilities and powerful breaching behaviors lasting up to 50 minutes. Silky sharks and oceanic white-tip sharks. Which do you think holds the upper hand in group hunts? Keeping clear of the speedy chases of silky sharks, the loggerhead sea turtle slowly forages along the seafloor. They head to reef edges where hard substrates, cracks, and broken coral abound. These are the hiding places of crabs and shelled mollusks. The hard shells of prey pose no challenge for the loggerhead sea turtle. Measuring about 1 meter in length, this turtle boasts an incredibly strong jaw, its bite force comparable to that of a Kodiak bear. Each bite, exerting 900 pounds per square inch, can crush crab shells, clam valves, and even snails hidden beneath the sand. Though foraging in shallow waters, the loggerhead sea turtle can dive as deep as 150 meters. Each dive lasts 4 to 5 minutes, but sometimes extends up to 4 hours during deep rest. They are among the sea turtle species with the longest breath-holding abilities in the world. The loggerhead sea turtle is a symbol of resilience. But that resilience is faltering under pressures from its environment. They are classified as vulnerable by the International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources. In the Pacific and Indian Oceans, they often get caught in fishing nets and ingest drifting plastic debris. Climate change also directly affects hatchling survival rates and sex ratios, putting their future at greater risk than ever before. From Wakatobi, heading northwest for over 600 kilometers, a coral arc suddenly closes in the Sulu Sea. Sakaran, a reef embrace that holds an isolated world within. Located less than 20 kilometers from the coast of Semporna, Sakaran was once an ancient volcano, now submerged beneath the sea. Today, its remnants form a maze of lagoons and fringing reefs, a trace of that giant wonder. Covering just over 350 square kilometers, the area features complex terrain. The boundary between shallow and deep waters is just a few dive strokes apart. The coral reefs at Sakaran are densely packed and breathtaking. 255 species of hard corals and 70 species of soft corals are found here. Many carry unique genetic traits never seen in other reefs. They build strong structures, the home to nearly 530 species of reef fish. Beneath the clear waters, the Napoleon wrasse weaves through rocky crevices. Its prominent forehead, rising like a helmet, makes it look like a general patrolling the coral frontier. Its body can grow up to 2.3 meters long and weigh over 190 kilograms, adding to its majestic presence. The Napoleon wrasse hunts for hard-shelled prey, from clams and oysters to sea urchins. It holds its catch in its mouth and swims to coral reefs with hard surfaces. There, it repeatedly strikes the prey against the rocks to break its shell. This behavior is considered rare and clever among reef fish. The Napoleon wrasse plays a vital role in coral reef health. It preys on the crown-of-thorns starfish, a serious reef destroyer. Each individual can consume 6 to 10 square meters of hard coral per year. If left unchecked, a population outbreak can bleach an entire reef within months. Not many large reef fish dare to prey on the crown-of-thorns starfish because of its toxic spines. But the Napoleon wrasse is not one of them. Its stomach structure and digestive system neutralize or eliminate toxins before they can harm its body. Strong jaws equipped with 8 to 12 sharp teeth on each side allow it to crush the spines and digest the soft tissues inside. The Napoleon wrasse grows slowly. It takes 5 to 7 years to reach reproductive maturity and can live over 30 years in the wild. Most individuals are born female, but at a certain age and size, some change to males. This mechanism helps stabilize the population structure and ensures reproductive success in low-density areas. Despite this, the Napoleon wrasse faces serious threats. It is listed as endangered by the International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources. In many parts of the Coral Triangle, this species has completely vanished. Coral reefs are also home to the blacktip reef shark. This 1.6-meter-long shark prefers fringing reefs with depths under 20 meters. The sandy coral interface is their prime hunting ground. Here, the blacktip reef shark hunts small fish like mullet, goatfish, juvenile trevallies, and occasionally cephalopods. They don't pursue prey over long distances like oceanic sharks. Their strategy relies on the reef structure. It's especially effective when they cooperate in small groups of 3 to 7 individuals. Blacktip reef sharks often move in arcs to encircle schools of fish. They drive prey toward the reef or shallow sandy areas. As the space narrows, the fish lose their bearings. The sharks then surge forward together, creating swirling waves that break up the prey's formation. When hunting alone, blacktip reef sharks use light and water currents to approach prey. Their keen sense of smell and electroreception help them locate targets at close range. As they close in, they launch a 32 km/h burst, circling around to strike from the side. Their speed and powerful thrusts sometimes result in surprising breaches above the water. The hunting instincts of blacktip reef sharks develop very early. Newborn pups already have full swimming and hunting abilities. Still, during their first 6 months, they usually hide in shallow pools rich in seagrass and protective structures. Tun Sakaran, with its enclosed lagoons and calm waters, serves as an ideal nursery ground for this species. Leaving the coral reefs behind, the hawksbill sea turtle skillfully weaves through the tangled mangroves of Sakaran Island in search of food. Its sharp, curved beak works to perfection. It gently pries off patches of sponges, tunicates, or algae from rocks and tree trunks. Sometimes, oysters, seaweed, or scattered sea foam among the submerged branches become tasty treats. By day, hawksbill turtles move quietly beneath mangrove roots, avoiding currents and predators. At dusk, they swim out to seagrass beds to feast on conch, crustaceans, and sea sponges. Some individuals dive as deep as 60 meters. They seek out coral reefs to rest among rocky crevices. During breeding season, hawksbill sea turtles cross the waters of Tun Sakaran and head to nearby areas. Pom-pom and mataking have both recorded nesting activity of this species. Female hawksbill sea turtles reproduce only every 2 to 4 years, with each breeding season typically lasting from April to November. During this period, an individual may lay eggs 3 to 5 times, with intervals of about 15 to 20 days between each nesting. Eggs are deposited in sand pits 40 to 60 centimeters deep and hatch after approximately 60 days. Hatchlings measure only about 2.5 to 3 centimeters. Instinctively, they rush straight to the sea, drawn by natural moonlight and the ocean's glow. However, those that don't reach the water before dawn fall prey to seabirds, crabs, and other predators. Only about 1 in 1,000 survive to adulthood. The harsh struggle for survival, along with many natural challenges, is pushing the hawksbill sea turtle to the brink of extinction. They are listed as critically endangered on the International Union for Conservation of Nature's Red List of Threatened Species. In less than 150 years, hawksbill populations have declined by over 80%. They face threats such as loss of nesting areas due to coastal tourism development and loss of resting habitats as coral reefs gradually bleach. Their beautiful shells have also made them prime targets for hunting in many parts of the world. Raja Ampat, Tubbataha, Kimbe Bay, Wakatobi, and Tun Sakaran. If you could choose, which coral kingdom would you call home? Leave a comment below and stay tuned for the video to explore more of these extraordinary kingdoms. Where the sea floor drops away right before your eyes. Just a few hundred meters from shore, the ocean suddenly plunges thousands of meters deep. Timor-Leste northern reefs, the untouched frontier of the coral triangle. Here, corals cling to steep underwater cliffs to grow. More than 400 species of hard corals and 1,200 species of reef fish are found here. 1/3 of all coral species on Earth are concentrated along a narrow coastal stretch just a few dozen kilometers long. Atoro Island recorded 253 reef fish species in a single dive, a world record for species density. Corals grow in clusters, forming a three-dimensional maze beneath the surface. Tiny gobies, just a few centimeters long, weave through the gaps between branching corals. Large groupers lie in wait, hidden in the shadows of massive coral structures. And in the deeper waters, whales often arrive with the seasons, following the plankton rising from the depths. Not every place in the coral triangle has managed to stay untouched. But in northern Timor-Leste, where the coastline quickly drops into the deep, corals continue to thrive, as if they've never been disturbed. The waters of northern Timor-Leste are a stopover for humpback whales along the Ombai-Watar Strait corridor. This is a major migration route for the species between the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. The 2009 report, Marine Megafauna Surveys in Timor-Leste, identifying opportunities for potential ecotourism, recorded around 100 humpback individuals spotted in the northeastern part of these waters. Humpback whales set out from the cold southern waters of the Antarctic, where plankton and krill are abundant during summer. As temperatures drop, they begin their journey. The icy environment is no place to bring new life into the world. From June to November, pods of humpback whales travel across the Southern Ocean. They pass through the Timor Trough, a trench reaching depths of up to 3,500 meters, and appear in the northern waters of Timor-Leste. They don't stay long. Many simply glide through, rest briefly, and memorize the currents. Even so, the nutrient-rich waters near the coast, thanks to upwelling, sometimes become a quick refueling spot for humpback whales. They feed in groups. Together, they coordinate to blow bubbles that corral prey into a tight cluster, then surge upward from below to engulf the entire school. This is bubble net feeding, a signature strategy unique to humpbacks. The waters of northern Timor-Leste are not the final destination for humpback whales. They are merely a quiet note in the grand symphony of migration. But for this species, even brief stopovers are enough to restore energy, sustain life, and complete a journey that stretches up to 16,000 kilometers. The nutrient-rich waters of northern Timor-Leste also have a special appeal for whale sharks. They are one of the few species of filter-feeding sharks. These gentle giants arrive between August and December each year, when plankton blooms are at their peak. The whale shark's feeding strategy is so unusual it almost defies typical shark instincts. This species swims horizontally at a slow pace of just 4 to 5 kilometers per hour. Its mouth stays wide open, continuously filtering seawater through thousands of tiny mesh-like filters. Planktonic creatures are trapped and collected in its spacious mouth, which can span about 1.5 meters wide. When food is especially dense, whale sharks switch to a strategy called stationary suction feeding. They minimize movement and gently sway their heads side to side, disturbing the plankton and directing more of it into their optimal filtering zone. This innovative approach allows them to maximize feeding efficiency without burning too much energy. Whale sharks possess an exceptionally refined prey tracking system, allowing them to follow traces of food from tens of kilometers away. They can sense water movement through structures called ampullae of Lorenzini. They detect plankton concentrations by picking up chemical cues like dimethyl sulfide. This species also relies on changes in water temperature to locate nutrient-rich zones. Whale sharks play a unique ecological role in northern Timor-Leste. When these sharks are present, small fish gather around them to feed on leftover scraps or to seek protection from predators. They form a moving buffer zone, a temporary safe haven in the midst of a vast and unpredictable ocean. Northern Timor-Leste is one of the few deep water regions within the Coral Triangle. Some areas here reach depths of over 3,000 meters. This is where sperm whales showcase their extraordinary diving abilities. They come to these waters in search of giant squid and glass squid, species that live at depths between 600 and 1,200 meters. Sperm whales are among the deepest diving animals on Earth. They can explore areas as deep as 2,250 meters below the ocean surface. Over millions of years of evolution, the sperm whale's body has been finely tuned for deep-sea journeys lasting up to 90 minutes. Its massive head holds up to 1,900 liters of spermaceti, and its flexible rib cage allows it to adjust buoyancy with ease. Blood is redirected to the brain, muscles, and heart, while the heart rate slows to just 10 beats per minute. Its large lungs collapse completely, preventing damage from the intense pressure of the deep ocean. In the deep, dark heart of the ocean, sperm whales use powerful sound signals to locate their prey. They produce clicks reaching up to 230 decibels, the loudest sound ever recorded in nature. Faster sequences of sounds are used for social communication. They live in matriarchal groups, called pods, led by an adult female and made up of 6 to 20 younger individuals. Adult males live solitary lives and only join pods for mating. Nearly 3,000 kilometers from northern Timor-Leste, nestled at the eastern edge of the Coral Triangle, lies a scattered chain of volcanic islands and low-lying coral atolls. This is the Solomon Islands, where coral blankets, reefs, steep walls, lagoons, and flooded volcanic craters. From shallow waters to the edge of the deep, the reefs here stretch out like a vibrant tapestry woven into the heart of the ocean. The Solomon Islands are home to 494 species of hard coral. Over 75% of all known hard coral species on Earth. Corals here thrive thanks to clear waters, stable temperatures, and minimal destructive currents. Fringing and barrier reefs surround both large and small islands, offering shelter and nesting grounds for countless marine creatures. This ecosystem also supports around 1,000 reef fish species, along with hundreds of species of mollusks, crustaceans, and echinoderms. Diversity here stems not just from the number of species, but from the seamless connection between ecosystems, fringing reefs, mangrove forests, and seagrass beds. Mangroves hug the bay edges and weave into every river mouth of the Solomon Islands, covering a total area of about 471 square kilometers. They form a massive biological shield, holding soil, filtering water, and protecting coral reefs from sediment during the flood season. Together, they create a living network where every coral branch is a vital link helping keep the Pacific Ocean in motion. Along the shores of the Solomon Islands, dugongs quietly graze the seagrass beds. They are the only remaining fully aquatic herbivorous marine mammals in existence. The dugong's snout has a specialized downward-facing structure, perfectly adapted for feeding on seagrass along the seafloor. Its large, horseshoe-shaped upper lip is highly flexible and powerful, allowing it to dig through the sand with ease. Each feeding session leaves behind distinctive furrows, natural plow marks etched into the sandy seabed. With poor eyesight, dugongs rely on their sense of smell and touch, using long, bristle-like hairs around their mouths to locate food and explore their surroundings. They uproot entire seagrass plants, then gently shake them to remove sand before eating. Dugongs are known as the gardeners of the ocean. They favor seagrass species that are high in protein, low in fiber, and easy to digest. By grazing on the older upper parts of the seagrass, they encourage the growth of younger, healthier shoots. This behavior improves the overall health and productivity of seagrass beds and helps sustain habitats for countless other marine species. Along the river mouths, saltwater crocodiles display extraordinary adaptability shaped by millions of years of evolution. Salt glands on their tongues allow them to survive in salty waters. They regulate their internal environment efficiently, keeping their bodies stable even as they move back and forth between the ocean and freshwater habitats. The Solomon Islands are home to an estimated 1,400 to 2,300 saltwater crocodiles. Their numbers have been steadily rising after decades of decline due to hunting. They prefer mangrove swamps and coastal bays around the islands. But during the breeding season, larger individuals may swim several kilometers beyond the fringing reefs. Saltwater crocodiles don't rely on speed to hunt. They lie motionless in the water with only their eyes and nostrils visible. They wait patiently for large fish, crabs, water birds, or turtles. And with a swift, decisive bite, the prey is locked in and secured. Saltwater crocodiles have a bite force exceeding 16,000 newtons, the highest ever recorded in the animal kingdom. What follows is the powerful death roll. Their entire body, up to 6 meters long and weighing over 1,000 kilograms, spins with force, overpowering their prey through sheer momentum and precision. Mangrove forests in the Solomon Islands play a vital role in the life cycle of saltwater crocodiles. They provide shelter and protection for young individuals as they grow. Once mature, these crocodiles take over major river mouths, standing guard at the gateway between the reefs and the vast open ocean. Far from the shoreline, grey reef sharks rule the deeper waters surrounding the coral reefs of many Solomon Islands. These sharks primarily feed on free-swimming bony fish and cephalopods at depths below 60 meters and can venture as deep as 300 meters. Some individuals have even been recorded at depths of 1,000 meters. They drive schools of fish toward the outer reef walls, making it easier to ambush their prey. Grey reef sharks hunt alone or in groups that can number up to 700 individuals. They have an extremely sensitive sense of smell, capable of detecting 1 part of tuna extract in 10 billion parts of seawater. When large amounts of food are present, these sharks can become agitated, entering a feeding frenzy that may even lead them to strike at one another. Grey reef sharks are also the first known shark species to display threat behavior. They exhibit a distinctive hunched posture, raising their snout, lowering their pectoral fins, arching their back, and shaking their body vigorously. If the warning is ignored, they will either retreat or launch a sudden, rapid attack with swift bursts of movement. Grey reef sharks have strong social bonds. During the day, They gather in small groups of 5 to 20 individuals along the edges of the reef. At night, the group temporarily disperses as each shark sets off to hunt on its own. Grey reef sharks are the natural line of defense for offshore coral reefs. They maintain order in the deep, keeping chaos from spilling into the coral's cradle of growth. Each patrol is a breath of the reef, silent, yet essential. Covering just about 1.6% of the ocean's surface, the Coral Triangle is the most biodiverse marine region on Earth. Nearly 600 species of hard corals gather in this area. That's equivalent to 76% of all reef-building coral species worldwide. It's also home to more than 300 species of soft corals, including gorgonians, leather corals, and tree corals. Around 2,000 species of reef fish find shelter in the Coral Triangle. Nowhere else on the planet hosts a greater number. 6 out of the world's 7 sea turtle species are found here as well. Alongside them are nearly 1,000 species of mollusks and thousands of species of crustaceans, echinoderms, and sea sponges. The Coral Triangle is known as the Amazon of the deep sea. It's home to more than 6,000 marine species. Each coral reef is a miniature ecological kingdom, holding some of the ocean's most precious genetic treasures. A place where hundreds of species constantly survive, compete, coexist, and evolve. The Coral Triangle stands as a realm boasting the most biodiverse ecosystems in Earth's oceans. But beyond the southwestern frontier of this region, the seas take on a completely different complexion. A mortal arena known as the Indian Ocean. And there, the Orca reigns as the supreme ruler. A shadow glides silently through the deep blue, swift, sharp, leaving no sound but the faint flick of a tail. It's the Orca, the wanderer of the Indian Ocean. Nicknamed the Wolf of the Sea, this top predator is a symbol of strategy and strength in the heart of the ocean. Orcas don't just hunt fish, they go after pinnipeds, they stalk cetaceans, they chase down seabirds, and sometimes even fully grown sharks become a quick appetizer, just for the liver. Typically found in colder and temperate waters, but in 2024, the Northern Indian Ocean Killer Whale Alliance released the first catalog identifying individual orcas in this region. It turns out orcas have been here, thriving and hunting longer than we thought. And when they arrive, the Indian Ocean is no longer peaceful. It becomes a stage for life and the hunt. Covering more than 70,560,000 square kilometers and making up around 20% of the Earth's total ocean surface, the Indian Ocean is the third largest ocean in the world, right after the Pacific and the Atlantic. It's also a meeting point of continents. To the north, its waters touch the shores of Asia, from India to Indonesia, from Myanmar to the Arabian Peninsula. To the west, the rugged coastline of Africa stretches from Somalia to Mozambique and South Africa, where the Agulhas Current begins its swirling journey. To the east, Australia closes off the ocean's edge with dazzling yet delicate coral reefs and shallow water shelves that are home to dugongs and schools of sharks hunting beneath the shifting play of sunlight. To the south, the Indian Ocean meets a boundary that isn't clearly defined. It depends on which definition you use. Some modern geographic maps label it as the edge of the Southern Ocean. Other interpretations see it as the ocean's reach toward Antarctica, where powerful currents like the Antarctic Circumpolar Current carry ancient oxygen-rich waters that flow to their own timeless rhythm. The Indian Ocean is the youngest member of the Great Ocean family. Around 140 million years ago, the force of plate tectonics began tearing apart the supercontinent Gondwana. The Indian landmass, once connected to Africa and Antarctica, broke away and drifted northward. It collided with the Eurasian plate, pushing up the Himalayas, and left behind a growing ocean in its wake. The Indian Ocean was born. The Carlsberg Ridge, the Central Indian Ridge, and the Southeast Indian Ridge continue to split and spread the seafloor outward. Along its western edge, the Indian-Australian Plate slides beneath the Somali Plate, where the Somali coastal current carries ancient memories from the deep. The Indian Ocean is a buffer between three continents, but it has never been a boundary. The coastal dispersal hypothesis suggests that around 75,000 years ago, a group of early modern humans left the Horn of Africa, following the northern shoreline of the Indian Ocean. They moved eastward, along Yemen, through Iran, to India, and eventually reached Southeast Asia. Around the year 1 Common Era, ancient Indonesians crossed more than 6,000 kilometers of the Indian Ocean and reached the shores of Madagascar. They brought with them language, crops, tools, and began a new chapter of humanity on a distant island. In ancient times, Indian traders carried spices, gemstones, and knowledge westward, exchanging with civilizations in Egypt, Persia, and East Africa. During the Islamic era, beginning in the 7th century, this ocean became a vast Islamic trade network stretching from Basra to Zanzibar, from Mombasa to Malacca. Then came the rise of colonial empires. But despite being harvested, controlled, or contested, it has always stayed true to its nature, a place of connection, not division. As the warmest ocean in the world, surface temperatures in parts of the Indian Ocean can rise above 30 degrees Celsius. That warmth fuels atmospheric systems with global reach. Unlike other oceans, where currents follow a more consistent planetary circulation, the Indian Ocean's waters are driven mainly by the monsoon winds. It's the only ocean where surface currents can completely reverse direction, twice a year. In summer, waters flow westward, from Indonesia toward the shores of Africa. When winter arrives, the current shifts, heading back east. This rhythmic reversal creates two massive gyres, one north of the equator spinning clockwise, and one to the south turning counterclockwise. This kind of organized turbulence nurtures some of the richest marine ecosystems on Earth. Coral reefs stretch from the Maldives to Western Australia, from Seychelles to the Red Sea, serving as homes for thousands of species of fish, mollusks, crustaceans, and intricate symbiotic creatures so complex, we're still learning how to describe them. Here, coral reefs form a three-dimensional city, where life pulses hour by hour through every crevice and every soft coral branch. In the open ocean, covering nearly 80% of the Indian Ocean's area, live and hunt some of the most economically valuable fish in the world, especially tuna. This ocean produces the second largest tuna catch globally, supporting not just food supply chains, but the economies of many island nations. The journey begins at the West Central Australian Shelf. Stretching from Cape Lewin, the southwesternmost tip of Australia, all the way to Northwest Cape, this ecosystem hugs a long and intricate stretch of coastline. Covering roughly 1.05 million square kilometers, the West Central Australian Shelf is a broad, shallow seafloor where the continental shelf extends only a few dozen kilometers before suddenly opening out into the Great Australian Bight. These waters are home to 633 fish species across 172 families, an impressive number for a region with temperate climate conditions. In the Great Australian Bight, approximately 85% of fish species, 95% of mollusks, and 90% of echinoderms are believed to be endemic. Although its coral reef systems make up just 0.03% of the world's reef area and its seamounts, underwater mountains, only about 0.18% of global totals, each rocky reef and each submerged peak is a world of its own. The rugged rock surfaces are anchors for seaweed, corridors for bottom-dwelling fish on the hunt, and breeding grounds for species that have yet to be named. Here, the tiger shark hunts seals. Fully grown individuals, reaching up to 5 meters in length, move in a deliberate, patterned way. It approaches quietly, using the terrain, reef edges and shifting watercolors to hide its massive frame. Each time the sun sinks toward the horizon, the tiger shark begins its nightly journey. From shallow waters where seals gather to deeper zones where it can strike without warning. At times, individual tiger sharks have been recorded leaving Shark Bay and traveling hundreds of kilometers. The largest ones have been observed using a highly refined hunting pattern. It picks up faint signals, heat trails, weak heartbeats, subtle movements in the water column. After the tiger shark's flawless hunt, the West Central Australian shelf fades into the cool mist of temperate seas. The color of the water shifts to a more vibrant blue. The light grows denser, and life begins to stir again. This time, following the rhythms of the tropics. This is where the Indian Ocean reaches a biological hotspot, the Northwest Australian Shelf. The Northwest Australian Shelf stretches nearly 2,500 kilometers, from Northwest Cape to Melville Island. Here, two major seafloor structures, Rowley Shelf and Sahul Shelf, shape a three-dimensional world of sloping continental shelf, submerged terraces, and undersea plateaus like the Exmouth Plateau and Scott Plateau. All of these features emerged from a system of Mesozoic-era fault trenches, forming a geologically ancient and remarkably stable foundation. During the Miocene period, about 15 million years ago, the northward drift of the Australian continent pushed this shelf into a tropical climate zone. The boundary between the temperate waters to the south and the tropical waters to the north is drawn right here, making this place a profound biogeographical crossroads. Today, the Northwest Australian Shelf is one of the largest remaining carbonate shelf structures, where marine sediments rich in calcium have accumulated for millions of years, nourishing coral reefs, seagrass beds, and bottom-dwelling species. It is also one of Australia's most vital marine biodiversity hotspots. This region is tightly linked, biologically, to the central Indo-West Pacific, especially the East Indies Coral Triangle, a region often described as the underwater Amazon of the world. This marine region is also home to two UNESCO World Heritage Sites, Shark Bay and Ningaloo Reef. Among them, the Shark Bay World Heritage Area stands as a living biological fortress for one of the largest and healthiest populations of dugongs on the planet. It holds the world's largest seagrass meadow, the sole and vital food source for dugongs. Dugongs are the only surviving marine mammal in the family of the now extinct Steller's sea cow. With their distinct downward-facing mouths, they gently graze seagrass from sandy seabeds, leaving behind trails like soft brushstrokes on the canvas of the ocean floor. They live in small groups, sometimes just a pair, other times a gathering of dozens, connected by tender underwater calls like whispers in the night from the heart of the sea. Each year, As winter settles over the southern hemisphere, more than 29,000 humpback whales begin a journey over 5,000 kilometers long. From the frigid feeding grounds of Antarctica, they travel through powerful ocean currents toward the warm waters of Western Australia's Kimbe coast. There, among sheltered bays like Camden Sound and the shallow reaches of Exmouth Gulf, they give birth and nurture the next generation of their kind. And when they arrive, ancient rituals begin. The males sing deep, resonant songs through the water column, melodies that last for hours and travel for tens of kilometers. These are mating calls, declarations of territory, and living messages that only the ocean truly understands. After the songs come the ocean's dances, towering breaches that lift them meters into the air, crashing back down in thunderous splashes, signals of strength, rituals of courtship, and sacred displays between males and females. And after these performances, in the warm embrace of the sea, the calves are born. Tiny yet full of promise, they are nourished by their mother's rich, fatty milk for several months, until they're strong enough to make the long return to Antarctica. This journey repeats each year across millennia. No GPS, no map, but every humpback whale remembers. Through blood memory, Earth's magnetic fields, and the quiet signals of the deep. Following the echoes of the humpback whales, the sea begins to darken, leaving only the soft glow of the coral reefs around the Kimberley Islands. This is where the lemon shark emerges. Eyes cold and focused, wielding a hunting strategy rarely seen in the open ocean. As twilight gently settles over the warm waters, the lemon shark glides through reefs thick with seaweed, over kelp fields that ripple like velvet across the ocean floor. Its pale yellow body blends with the light filtering through the algae, creating perfect camouflage, turning this predator into a flickering shadow, nearly invisible within the Kimberley ecosystem. Living among complex reefs and shallow continental shelf zones tucked inside protected bays, the lemon shark relies on stealth as its signature hunting tactic. Unlike tiger sharks that patrol in bold sweeps, it moves meter by meter, silent and patient, waiting for small fish to drift into range. It uses the seaweed as cover, turning each strike into a surprise. Its targets are modest, tiny fish like gobies, damselfish, and sometimes even the minute blennies. Low in energy but abundant in numbers, they make ideal prey. Lemon sharks can hunt around the clock, circling the reef or diving into deeper waters, down to nearly 100 meters, when food becomes scarce. Clearly, the lemon shark is a masterclass in how a mid-level predator survives not through brute force, but through strategy, by reading the sea, the light, and the movements of its prey. Along the hazy boundary where two oceans meet, where the Indian Ocean merges with the ceaseless cold currents of the Southern Ocean, a stretch of sea and land emerges, wild and mysterious, like a memory from when Earth had yet to define its poles. This is the southwest Australian shelf, extending from the mouth of the Murray-Darling River to Cape Leeuwin, the westernmost point of Australia. The region spans around 1.05 million square kilometers, yet only 2.23% lies within protected areas. The rest remains a vibrant, largely uncharted world, where every wave carries echoes of millions of years of isolated evolutionary cycles. The continental shelf here is sculpted with dramatic complexity. It holds the deepest and most intricate submarine canyons on the entire Australian continent, alongside vast deep-sea plains within the nation's exclusive economic zone. These landscapes create a mosaic of depth, currents, and light, three elements that shape all underwater life. So it's no surprise that the Southwest Australian shelf boasts an astonishingly high rate of endemic species. Recently, scientists discovered 2 new species of snailfish living more than 6,000 meters deep in the Diamantina fracture zone. Meanwhile, in shallower waters along the shelf, another species has drawn attention with its striking look. The white-nosed pigfish, a bottom dweller with a snout painted white as if brushed with chalk, slipping through the cold reef blocks. Farther out to sea, the Giant Trevally, a sleek little fish from the jack family, cuts through the mid-water like a silver arrow. And closer to the seafloor, there's the stout whiting, a bottom-dwelling species endemic to Australia, long known but only recently recognized for its distinct variation in Western Australian waters. When sea temperatures drop to around 18 to 20 degrees Celsius, the Australian sea lion begins to gather along the southwestern coast of Australia. The chosen sites are remote granite rock beaches. Mature males, known as bulls, assert their territory with dry, resonant roars and mark it by forcefully slapping their tails against the sand. Sometimes, they use their snouts to nudge and leave marks, staking their claim on the beach in no uncertain terms. The breeding season of the Australian sea lion follows no strict calendar, making each reproductive cycle unique and unpredictable. This irregular timing fuels intense competition among males, occasionally erupting into physical confrontations, fierce slaps with tails and ears, booming calls echoing across rocky shores. Not to defeat, but to display strength, persistence, and resilience in front of the females they seek to impress. After mating, the female spends a few solitary days before slipping back into the ocean to forage, leaving behind a newborn pup, fragile and tiny, yet crucial to the future of the species. Back in the southwest Australian shelf, the blue whale often pauses along submarine canyons or at the edge of the continental shelf. Here, they welcome the cold, oxygen-rich upwelling that brings with it a kind of biochemical marine snow. This is where phytoplankton bloom, followed by a surge of zooplankton, setting the stage for the arrival of blue whales drawn to these waters to feed. Whale watchers in northwestern Australia once recorded a rare and dramatic event. Over 70 orcas gathered in just 3 hours, working together to hunt a solitary blue whale. They operated with precision, like a coordinated strike team. Some chased, others clamped onto its fins and flukes to slow it down. Another group darted in to distract by attacking the tail, until, in a final move, they targeted the tongue, rich in fat and nutrition. Warm waters open once more, flowing into the southwestern edge of the Indian Ocean. Here, the force of the current goes beyond the ordinary. It becomes the Agulhas current. Originating near 27 degrees north, the Agulhas current sweeps along the eastern coast of Africa, then surges southward to around 40 degrees north. This current is a beast of the sea, narrow, fast, and bursting with energy. Each second, 70 million cubic meters of water, equivalent to 70 sverdrups, rush through. At its peak, it can reach between 95 and 136 sverdrups, near the core of the Agulhas. Its flow typically travels at 1.36 meters per second, but at times it can surge up to 2.45 meters per second. That raw power gives birth to magical transitions. When Agulhas meanders and Agulhas rings form, they pull deep water to the surface, vibrant upwelling zones where plankton explode in abundance. Millions of tons of plankton rise into the light, awakening the opening movements of the ocean's food chain. The sardine run takes place every year from May to July, when billions of Sardinops sagacs move northward from South Africa to Mozambique. The schools stretch up to 7 kilometers long and 30 meters deep, a living forest shimmering across the waves, drawing in every kind of predator. Tuna, dolphins, seabirds, sharks, orcas, they all gather, turning the ocean into a breathtaking living performance. Among the frenzy, the bull shark, over 3 meters long, stocky in build, and equipped with adaptable hunting instincts, moves like a silent assassin beneath the deep blue surface. They rely on a sonar-like sensing system to detect heat signatures from prey. So precise, it can pick up even the faint presence of a small fish. Bull sharks track blood scent with patience, using a speed that, while not the fastest, is more than enough to close the gap. Once within reach, usually targeting fish or lower-tier marine creatures, they strike, then release, allowing the prey to relax before resuming a carefully timed pursuit. But that same sensory strength becomes a vulnerability when hit with sudden cold water upwellings. In March 2021, a predator storm turned everything on its head. Temperatures plunged by as much as 10 degrees Celsius in less than 24 hours. A bait-and-switch cold trap for migratory hunters like the bull shark, which prefer warm waters around 21 degrees Celsius. In just 7 days, over 260 individuals across 81 species, including bull sharks, succumbed to the chilling shock. Tagging data confirmed bull sharks attempted to evade the cold. They hugged the warmer surface, retreated into protected bays, or stayed close to shorelines where water retained heat. But when the upwelling struck with sudden intensity, even seasoned predators had no time to adjust. Bull sharks were pinned by the cutting cold, leading to disrupted breathing and system shutdown. Before and after the cold surge, bull sharks continued their travels along the Agulhas, following weather cycles from tropical Africa to the southern open seas. They thrive in both marine and estuarine waters, built for environmental versatility, always preparing for migration, for the hunt, or for the unexpected chill. In the southern Indian Ocean, nestled between Antarctica and Madagascar, lies the isolated volcanic island group known as the Crozet Islands. This remote archipelago is encircled by two powerful ocean forces: the warm push of the Agulhas current, flowing from East Africa, and the swirling grip of the Antarctic circumpolar current. At this intersection, a rare environment emerges, where naturally iron-rich waters from volcanic activity spread outward, triggering an immense plankton bloom through a process known as the island mass effect. As austral spring and summer arrive, iron minerals flood the upper layers of the sea, and phytoplankton bloom in force. The waters around Crozet light up like an underwater celebration, as this plankton surge becomes the base of the region's rich oceanic food web. Above, the skies turn into a stage for millions of birds. Macaroni penguins and king penguins gather by the hundreds of thousands. Wandering albatrosses, skuas, and petrels soar across the waves. All of them live by the rhythm of plankton blooms, within a system where just 20% of the surrounding waters dictate the survival and flow of life across the bay. At Crozet, tens of thousands of emperor penguins gather on a steep beach along the island's edge. But this isn't just a safe haven. It's also the perfect target for the ambitious and cunning hunters, the orcas. The safe distance between emperor penguins and the open ocean is just a few meters. But that's all the room orcas need to strike. They move in tightly coordinated groups, pursuing their prey from deeper waters, where the penguins feel most confident. Once the penguins begin climbing ashore, their speed drops, and their swimming advantage fades. That's when the orcas surge in, charging the shoreline and capturing birds caught off guard. This beaching technique is especially risky. It can leave orcas stranded on the steep coast if miscalculated. But the reward is significant. Emperor penguins offer a rich source of fat and protein, making the bold tactic worth the gamble. Each spring, the rugged, windswept shores of the Crozet Islands welcome the return of thousands of southern elephant seals after months of foraging in the Antarctic seas. Here, they gather into dense groups called harems, where fierce competition unfolds to determine the alpha male. The alpha gains access to multiple females, securing his lineage and asserting dominance in an ecosystem shaped by intense ecological rivalry. And when the alpha finally rests, the first to take on responsibility is the pup, to stay warm, to survive, and to prepare for the return to sea. After their long journey, the females give birth to pups, soft and delicate, covered in velvety fur. The pup, after spending a few crucial weeks maturing on the cold, barren land, must learn to swim, to breathe, and to survive, preparing itself for its first solo voyage into the open ocean. Footsteps of the ocean stir ancient hunting instincts in the orca. They do not act randomly, they prepare like warriors in training. At times, they perform beaching, sliding up onto the island itself in pursuit of seals. It's a move full of risk and intelligence, revealing the remarkable precision of their craft as hunters. In these waters, at least two distinct orca ecotypes exist. The Crozet type, similar to Type A and Type D, while Type D specializes in hunting toothfish in the extreme depths. The Crozet type focuses on seals, especially southern elephant seals. The elephant seal, offering an abundance of energy, becomes a traditional target, one that forces orcas to continuously refine their hunting skills. Orcas live in matriarchal societies, groups led by older females, the matriarch, surrounded by daughters, sisters, and calves. This structure ensures that hunting knowledge is passed down, especially the complex beaching technique and strategies for catching seals. Young orcas learn to read waves, choose positions, and harness the energy and direction of the water to strike. Even when the ocean falls quiet after a long night of hunting, they stay in contact, with clicks and rhythmic breaths. Because orcas sleep with only half their brain, the other half remains awake, controlling their breathing so they never drown even in rest. But following the orca comes a behavior that borders on the unsettling. Orcas are apex predators, unchallenged rulers of the ocean. They can even cause the largest great white sharks to betray their own top-tier instincts. Though no such event has yet been recorded in the Indian Ocean in California, orca pods have been observed flipping great whites onto their backs, triggering a state called tonic immobility. Then, with remarkable precision, they extract only the liver, the most lipid-rich organ, before moving on, leaving the rest of the shark's body drifting in the open sea. But trailing behind the orca is a behavior both remarkable and unsettling. Orcas are the ocean's unmatched apex predators. They can force even the largest great white sharks to turn against their own top-of-the-chain instincts. Although no such case has been recorded in the Indian Ocean, in California, orcapods have been observed flipping great white sharks onto their backs, triggering a state of tonic immobility. Then, with surgical precision, they slice out only the liver, the organ richest in lipids, and move on, leaving the shark's body to drift silently in the open sea. The journey continues as warm currents from the edge of the Indian Ocean are pushed back by powerful flows, painting a vivid biological canvas teeming with energy and life. This is the Somali Coastal Current, home to one of the most productive marine ecosystems on Earth. Running along the coasts of Somalia and Oman, the Somali Coastal Current is a western boundary current stretching nearly 2,500 kilometers. It carries saline, nutrient-rich water from the Chagos archipelago all the way to the Horn of Africa, sweeping across a vast area of approximately 840,710 square kilometers. This current acts as a biological corridor, linking marine life from the Comoros and northern Madagascar all the way to the Somali shoreline. What makes this one of the most vital marine ecosystems on the planet is the Somali coastal upwelling. It's considered the largest coastal upwelling system in the Western Indian Ocean and one of the rare examples occurring along the western edge of any ocean. During summer, as temperatures rise, low-pressure zones form off the Somali coast, pulling cold, nutrient-rich water from the deep to the surface, unleashing a dazzling bloom of plankton that stretches for hundreds of kilometers. That bloom marks the beginning of a chain reaction, from plankton to anchovies, sardines, and onward to the ocean's top predators. Amid this buzzing web of life, the Indo-Pacific bottlenose dolphin emerges like a seasoned commander of the sea. Sharks, tuna, dolphins, and whales from all directions converge here, drawn to a hunting arena unlike any other. Here too, a creature shaped by the ancient past continues to endure in quiet resilience. The coelacanth, a prehistoric survivor that outlived the age of dinosaurs. In 2021, researchers documented over 30 individuals in the waters of Comoros, Madagascar, and Kenya. Unlike any modern fish, the coelacanth has lobed fins that move like legs, allowing it to walk through the water rather than simply swim. It is cold-blooded, dwelling in rocky caves at depths ranging from 100 to over 700 meters. Even more remarkable, its lifespan can stretch up to 100 years. It grows slowly and is exceptionally rare. The population around Grand Comoro is estimated to number only a few hundred individuals, placing it in the critically endangered category. Continuing along the vibrant path of the Somali coastal current, the story of the ocean shifts once more, this time leading us to the Red Sea. A branch of the Indian Ocean nestled between two continents. The Red Sea stretches nearly 2,250 kilometers from the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, connecting to the Gulf of Aden, all the way to the shallow waters of the Gulf of Aqaba and the Gulf of Suez. With a surface area of about 438,000 square kilometers, and an average depth of just 490 meters, the Red Sea holds a dramatic contrast at its center. The Suakin Trough, where the seafloor plunges to 3,040 meters. Remarkably, around 40% of the sea lies in waters shallower than 100 meters, and a full quarter is under 50 meters deep. In these shallows, temperatures can soar close to 30 degrees Celsius, and salinity rises far above typical ocean levels, creating a challenging environment where only the most uniquely adapted species can thrive. Corals must develop powerful immune responses. Fish must withstand intense heat and salt. This is why endemism here is unusually high. More than 1,200 fish species swim among ancient coral reefs, and roughly 10% are endemic, found nowhere else but in the Red Sea. Hard corals like acropora and porites have built a fringing reef system that stretches over 2,000 kilometers, with some structures estimated to be 5,000 to 7,000 years old. These coral formations create terraces, lagoons, and mysterious blue holes, like those at Dahab, deep underwater columns where marine life has taken shelter in darkness for millennia. In 2024, data from the Northern Indian Ocean Killer Whale Alliance confirmed that orcas are now regularly sighted from Sri Lanka to the northern Maldives. In the Indian Ocean, orcas are considered transients, specialized in hunting pinnipeds and large fish. They live in pods ranging from 5 to 40 individuals, relying not just on physical strength, but more critically, on a shared hunting culture. In the Red Sea, orcas blend into the deep shadows. They don't hunt schooling fish like in colder waters. Here, their prey is larger and stronger, demanding strategy, coordination, and intelligent execution. When orcas arrive, it's as if the ocean holds its breath. A pod will first align using subtle acoustic cues, synchronized clicks to mark direction, before launching a collective attack. This tactic only works when every individual knows their role. One approaches, one creates a sound trap, another uses speed to block escape. Dialect is their key to communication. Calves learn how to vocalize, while mothers teach the structure and rhythm of generational hunting techniques. There's no mixing between pods. Each group maintains its own vocal identity and distinct hunting skills. This is oceanic hunting culture, where strategy is passed down not just from the environment, but through genes and social learning. From the awe-inspiring stretch of the Red Sea, the ocean expands into an even broader, deeper realm. This is the Arabian Sea, a northwestern branch of the Indian Ocean with a wild, raw character shaped by unexpected shifts. Spanning about 3,862,000 square kilometers and stretching roughly 2,400 kilometers from the coast of Somalia to the Lakadive Islands. The Arabian Sea is the largest open body within the Indian Ocean system. Its borders are defined by the Arabian Peninsula, the Gulf of Aden, Oman, Pakistan, and India. What fuels life in the Arabian Sea is the dramatic bloom of phytoplankton, especially in the northwest, where chlorophyll surface concentrations often spike during the winter months. This plankton bloom begins like the first movement of a symphony, drawing in small fish, then larger predators, and finally, the ocean's top hunters. Suddenly, the marine ecosystem transforms into something magical, a hidden banquet unfolding beneath the deep blue. Here, the largest of all fish glides silently through the endless blue, Reaching lengths of up to 18 meters and weighing as much as 21 metric tons, the whale shark is a gentle giant. It is no aggressive predator, but a calm, steady traveler, filtering plankton from water rich with organic life. Each year, as the ocean awakens from its quiet winter slumber, whale sharks reappear in significant numbers around the waters of the Maldives and Mozambique. These are key biological convergence zones within the northern Indian Gyre. Here, swirling currents rise from the depths, bringing nutrients upward, fueling blooms of plankton, which in turn call the whale sharks, as if summoned from the ocean's very floor. They follow these warm, nutrient-rich currents at a pace of about 5 kilometers per hour, diving as deep as 500 meters. Each whale shark immerses itself in cold, oxygen-rich water, where light fades, yet life flourishes. They open their massive mouths wide, gently filtering streams of tiny plankton, from copepods to fish eggs, from baby squid to drifting algae, quiet meals dense in nourishment. And when the plankton thins, they move on just as silently. Their journey follows the currents, guided by ancient biological rhythms etched deep in a genetic map that hasn't changed for millions of years. Larger even than the whale shark is the blue whale, the biggest living creature on Earth. A blue whale can reach lengths of up to 30 meters, longer than a Boeing 737, and its heart can weigh as much as a car. Each day, it requires around 3,600 kilograms of krill, tiny planktonic organisms, to sustain its massive body, which can weigh up to 180,000 kilograms. A single individual can consume more food than an entire pride of lions in a year, and yet it does so through just one behavior: filtering. Off the coast of Pakistan, blue whales move along the edge of the continental shelf toward the Gulf of Oman. There, swarms of krill gather in thick, cloud-like masses, living storms of sustenance. But what makes the blue whale truly extraordinary isn't just its size, it's its voice. They whisper in low frequencies, far below the range of human hearing, yet powerful enough to travel hundreds of kilometers through the deep ocean. These sounds act like an acoustic map, helping them navigate, locate mates, or avoid risky waters. They don't travel in large pods. They migrate alone or in pairs, not driven by panic or chance, but by paths encoded in their DNA, traced by evolution over millions of years. All it takes is one steady rhythm, a deep, drawn-out song that can last for hours, a quiet call echoing through the heart of the ocean, needing no light, no eyes, only the power to hear. The searing currents of the Arabian Sea fall into stillness, and the Bay of Bengal rises, like a vast biological stage coming to life. This immense body of water spans 2.6 million square kilometers and reaches depths of up to 4,694 meters. Nestled between the Indian subcontinent and the Indo-Chinese peninsula, it is fed by mighty rivers such as the Ganges, Brahmaputra, and Barak. Each year, nearly 1 billion metric tons of sediment pour into the bay, forming the Bengal fan, the largest submarine fan on Earth. Stretching 3,000 kilometers long and up to 16.5 kilometers thick, it serves as a geological archive stretching back to the Miocene epoch. Alongside this geological marvel lies a mosaic of coral reefs, estuaries, mangrove forests, and juvenile fish nurseries, woven into a layered web of habitats. From tiny phytoplankton to large fish species, this bay becomes one of the planet's 64 large marine ecosystems, a living engine of biodiversity. The monsoon touches every centimeter of this sea each year. According to 2024 surveys, plankton production has surged by 20% compared to the 5-year average. Along the coastal stretch of Odisha, India, lies a sacred place, Giant Trevally Marine Wildlife Sanctuary. This is where the olive ridley sea turtle, a species threatened with extinction, returns at season's end to continue a survival cycle that has lasted millions of years. Their journey begins in the deep ocean, where currents carry a steady supply of jellyfish, shrimp, and small fish. As they near the shore, the turtles leave behind the open sea, pushing forward with slow, sweeping strokes of their massive flippers. First comes the ocean, then the blazing sand, scorching under the near 30°C sun. Carried in by waves, olive ridleys follow ancient instinct, crawling step by step to reach stable nesting sites. Each year, tens of thousands gather here, creating one of nature's rarest wonders, a mass nesting event. At Giant Trevally, an estimated 300,000 to 500,000 eggs are laid annually, but only about 1 to 5% of those will survive to adulthood. After 45 to 60 days, the shells crack open. Tiny hatchlings wriggle free from the sand and pour down Giant Trevally's beach, racing toward the fierce ocean in the cover of night. That moment becomes a symphony of survival. Thousands fall to predators, ghost crabs, birds, even passing fishing vessels. And yet, through sheer numbers, the olive ridley endures. 6 months to 2 years later, some will return to the very beach where they were born, marking a new cycle, a new life. Meanwhile, beneath the dense canopy of mangrove forests, where salty seawater blends with the slightly acidic flow of river currents, the saltwater crocodile lies in wait. Like a phantom before the strike. Though it lives near the sea, this species can push deep inland thanks to its remarkable tolerance for salt, sometimes stalking prey dozens of kilometers from the coast. Averaging 4 to 5 meters in length and weighing up to 1,000 kilograms, the saltwater crocodile rests just beneath the surface, exposing only its eyes and nostrils, an unmoving silhouette among tangled roots. When prey crosses its line of sight, the crocodile lashes its tail and snaps forward. Just one strike sends ripples across the waters of Great Nicobar Biosphere Reserve. Here, the saltwater crocodile population guards a critical habitat. Great Nicobar is a key site for conservation and close monitoring of this species. Thanks to these efforts, their numbers remain steady, despite past threats from hunting, leather trade, and shrinking habitat. After the deep, steady breath of the Bay of Bengal, the journey brings us to a shallower, emerald-hued sea. The Gulf of Thailand stretches nearly 800 kilometers from southern Vietnam to Malaysia, cradled by 4 countries: Cambodia, Thailand, Malaysia, and Vietnam. Covering an area of approximately 320,000 square kilometers, this is one of the shallowest marine regions in the world, averaging just 58 meters in depth, with the deepest point only around 85 meters. To the north, the Chao Phraya River empties into the sea at Bangkok, carrying sediments and nutrients from upstream. It shapes rich floodplains and coastal wetlands that nurture thriving ecosystems. The river acts like a lifeline, pulsing into the Gulf of Thailand and giving it a distinct ecological identity. This gulf is one of the rare places on Earth where we can closely observe endangered species of whales and dolphins. Eden's whales, the newly described Omura's whale, Chinese white dolphins, and Irrawaddy dolphins, all exhibiting mysterious hunting behaviors, gather in these warm, shallow waters where plankton and small fish abound, seeking food, breeding grounds, and refuge. Most notably, dugongs also call these waters home. Gentle and unhurried, these marine mammals graze on seagrass meadows, moving slowly and peacefully, a striking contrast to the dynamic presence of nearby predatory whales. Amid the tranquil waters of the Gulf of Thailand, the lionfish exists as a radiant yet cunning predator. Each individual measures only around 40 centimeters in length, but carries a set of venomous fin spines, a finely tuned defense mechanism paired with expert hunting skills. Lionfish live alone or in small clusters, hiding among granite reefs, mangrove roots, or seagrass meadows. The shallow depths, rarely exceeding 85 meters, make for an ideal hunting ground, where tight spaces leave little room for prey to escape. With just a few puffs of water, the lionfish can execute a flawless ambush. It may look like a flowing tapestry within a vibrant coral reef, but the lionfish doesn't attack head-on with brute force. Instead, it uses a concert of illusion, a delicate, well-timed stream of water that startles small fish from their hiding places. Then, with a swift sweep of its fins, it drives the prey into what seems like a safe escape path. Only to swallow it in a flash, jaws opening like a cave of teeth. Moments later, venom-laced spines paralyze the victim, allowing the lionfish to consume it whole. This species also reproduces at a rapid pace. Each female can spawn twice per year, releasing up to 30,000 eggs per event, each encased in a gelatinous layer that allows them to drift with the tides, spreading across multiple habitats. Its venomous system and rapid genetic adaptability make the lionfish highly resilient in nearly any condition. But its role is far from simple. The lionfish is both a symbol of natural balance and a potential ecological threat. If left unchecked, it can reduce small fish populations and disrupt the fragile ecosystems of the Gulf of Thailand. But those breaths are growing shallow and unsteady. The ocean is warming, and the coral triangle is feeling that heat, starting from the very first layer of coral. Ocean temperatures here have risen by 0.09 to 0.12 degrees Celsius per decade over the past 30 years. That number could reach between 1 and 4 degrees Celsius by the year 2100. No species on the reef can adapt fast enough to keep pace with that rate of change. In 2023, 96% of the world's oceans experienced marine heat waves. Many regions saw levels 4 times higher than the historical average. These heat waves scorch the color from corals, leaving behind lifeless plains of stark white limestone. In the Coral Triangle, bleaching cycles now occur every 5 to 6 years, down from once every 27 years in the 1980s. The ocean itself is changing. Oxygen levels have dropped by 2% over the past 50 years. Rising carbon dioxide levels are causing acidification, weakening the ability of corals and plankton to build their protective shells. Overfishing continues to strip away the reef's last line of resilience. 85% of coral reefs in the Coral Triangle are under threat from exploitation, mangrove deforestation, and marine pollution. This is the highest level of reef stress anywhere in the world. But hope is not lost. In 2007, the Coral Triangle Initiative on Coral Reefs, Fisheries and Food Security was established. It represents a commitment by 6 nations in the Coral Triangle region to protect marine biodiversity and secure coastal food sources. More than 1,900 marine protected areas have been established, covering about 281,881 square kilometers. Approximately 17.8% of coral reefs are safeguarded within these zones. Well-managed protected areas have seen increases in grouper populations, healthier live coral cover, and a decline in fishing activity. The vast coral reefs of the Coral Triangle are the heartbeat of the open ocean. If you believe that heartbeat is worth protecting, give this video a like and share it to help spread the message. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to keep exploring more of the ocean's wonders with us.